Nice hearing you talk here at the curious Melt, Zee Melt. And I saw your book for the first time, which is called 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. Why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Okay, well, that's simply how the mind works, is relationships between things. Our proper area of study is the mind, and how the mind works is exactly that, putting two things together to form a third, and the third thing happens in the mind. So what my book is all about exactly that, taking two things that don't seem connected and putting them together to create a third thing that hopefully will make you have a flash in your mind about how things really work.
Any interesting example of such a combination?
Well, it kind of is how everything in the world works. There is Plato, in the Greek days, Plato had an idea for perfect forms. Well, so that if it was a chair, there'd be a perfect form for a chair. Now, clearly that isn't true. There isn't just one chair. Every chair looks different. Every chair has a different form. So you have a chair, you have a concept, and then you have a chair, what the chair looks like. And putting the two things together, you'll get the reality. We can only ever know what we know through our senses, which is all interpretation of what's happening in the real world. We can't actually know what's in the world beyond our senses. So obviously, as Buddha said, all there is mind. So obviously, all we ever know is mind. So that's a relationship between forms. Now, that's a kind of a reason for that structure. But actually, all we're ever doing is studying the mind. Yeah.
Great. One last question. Since you've been in the industry for what, more than 30 years?
40 years.
40 years. That's a long time. If you could describe today's advertising industry, either globally or specifically in the South Asian context, 3 words to describe the current industry.
I can't give you 3 words, but it's lazy, because people are so... the technology has made people too lazy and too frightened to think. People are so busy trying to keep up with what's happening that they don't have time to question what's happening, and they don't have time to realise it's my job to actually outthink everything else, especially in our area. There's too much for everybody to take it all in. So what it should be about is about separating yourself off and making sure my message is the one thing you do take in, which means I've got to make myself different to everybody else. Not the same. Now, if everybody else is just rushing into mobile or digital or whatever the latest fad is, which seems to me all anybody does at the moment, whatever's the latest trendy thing, and let's rush into that. And what in the UK they call it FOMO, fear of missing out. People are scared stiff to be the only one not doing it. So you do it and you just become one of a million others, which means you're invisible. Whereas if you became the one that wasn't doing that, the one that was going to do something different to that, then it would become all of those plus you. Now there'd be 2. Instead of you being 1 out of a million, you'd be 1 out of 2. Yeah?
Quite an interesting take on being unique. Dave, thank you for inspiring all of us, and hopefully we'll see you again.
Good, thanks very much.
Pleasure meeting you.